I'm an old man, so let's talk about an old tournament. Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, and welcome to an interesting stroll down memory lane. I have here, what is this? This is the 5th, the 6th, the 8th? Either way, I think this is the 8th book in the series. This is to the July-August 1995 Scry magazine. I'm old. I'm gonna be 40 like next month, guys. So I remember before there was really, like, before the internet was like a huge thing that you could, I remember before you could use it at all. But by the time this came around, it was starting to creep in there a little bit. So I have in here a couple of adorable old notes from the internet age and an Ice Age tournament report. So I'm gonna go ahead and we'll start out with the little tidbits before we go into the Ice Age tournament report. These old magazines are really cool. This one was sent out by Vigler. So it starts out with Net Chat. I love it. It's so old school and adorable. Net Chat. Remember terms like net and cyber? Remember that? All right. So the internet is buzzing with the coming of Ice Age. The coming of Ice Age. That's so nutty. A complete list of the cards in the set was available right after release, and a spoiler list for the Ice Age cards followed shortly thereafter. The Ice Age artwork has been very well received. The main concern of most players is a lack of product available for Ice Age and 4th edition MTG. Current prices on the internet for Ice Age range from $60 a box for starters or $62 a box for boosters to above retail prices when you can find a dealer with boxes in stock. Some dealers are already back ordered until August. There will be an increase in prices for all MTG products sometime in September. Some of the high demand cards from Ice Age are the Jester's Cap and the Jester's Mask. And this is true. Jester's Cap especially was a huge deal, and Jester's Mask to a lesser degree. And you can see why. I mean, Jester's Cap was a forecasting cost artifact. You pay to tap it and sacrifice it. You go through your opponent's deck for 3 cards of your choice, and you exile them. And this was, like, Magic was slower back then in a lot of ways, so the cap was really effective. You could totally use this effectively. It was fine. And Jester's Mask, admittedly, isn't as powerful overall, but if you do something ridiculous, like fast accelerate this out with, like, a double Dark Ritual, the fact that you can craft your opponent a brand new hand is fairly potent. Now, it amuses me to see, and the reason that I wanted to stop and talk about the cards before we actually got to this next sentence is, there have been reports of these cards selling for up to $25, both off and on the internet. $25 a piece for Jester's Masks. Think about that for a second. I don't even know what they're going for right now, but I'm guessing it's like $1, maybe? That's amazing. It's just so old school. As more Ice Age appears, the Cap and Mask will be easier to come by, and there are rumors that both Jester's cards will soon be restricted. Jester's Cap and Jester's Mask on the restricted list. That's funny. Rumors, of course. This is like the precursor to comment form, but everyone's like, yeah. So of course they're going to be rumors. Some of the other popular cards in Ice Age are Lurgoyf. That's funny. Crown of the Ages, Ice Cauldron, Icy Manipulator, Icequake, Polar Quake, and Zur's Weirding, and Wings of Aether. Wings of Aether? Well, you know what? All these I get, except Wings of Aether. I don't remember anybody getting super excited about that. That feels pretty random. The lack of starters has actually led to the snow-covered basic lands being in demand by players as well as collectors. There was a shortage back then. So let us flip over here to the Ice Age tournament report. I love these old details here. Here it is in all its glory. We're gonna go through this right here. Oh, right up there. Look at that. They got a picture of the mask and the cap. Okay, let's get ready. Here we go. Weirdness. I mean, some things you can expect when you get out of bed in the morning, and they still take you by surprise when they happen. But others, the Magic the Gathering Duels Convocation 3-day event held in the Automotive Building Exhibition Place in Toronto, Ontario. That's right, I forgot to mention, this event happened like a little over an hour from here. All right, so it's happened close to where I live. The Canadian National kept a low profile, unless it was all over on Friday. I didn't get there until Saturday. I don't know, but only one or two people I talked to had even registered for it, and most of them have dropped out to play Ice Age. It's crazy how much more difficult it was to get information back in the day. By far, the Ice Age Sealed Deck Tournament drew the biggest crowds. Players were pleasantly surprised to find that the starter deck and booster pack of Ice Age cards were complimentary. This, after the advertisements clearly stated the decks could be bought at the time of registration. As might be expected, the Ice Age Tournament decks, scheduled to be handed out at 11 a.m. Saturday, did not reach their new masters until 1:20 p.m. As expected. That's funny. Even then, slightly into the second round, what's supposed to be the tournament proper. 75 minutes were allotted to deck construction, so the tourney could begin at 2:35, and because of the late start, the first couple rounds were somewhat rushed. 75 minutes to build, that's a lot of time. But these are all new cards, and most people wouldn't have access to have looked at anything online. I sure didn't. I couldn't have gone online and see what was in Ice Age. It would have been from booster packs. So, since players were not allowed to leave in the middle of rounds, and breaks between rounds were on the order of 3 to 5 minutes, there was some discomfort. Oh my god! Meanwhile, word spread of the Ice Age Speed Tournament on Sunday. For $5, players would receive another starter/booster of Ice Age and play games all day as fast as possible for the most wins. While many players already had a taste of Ice Age from Saturday, it's a wonderful expansion, but more on that later. And here was a great excuse for a lot of people to opt out of the smaller Sunday events with a refund. As a result, the Type 2 singles, if you guys don't know what Type 2 is, that's what Standard was called originally. So, the Type 2 singles and Type 2 team revised schedule for Sunday did not happen as planned. Organizers did not seek new players to replace those who had jumped ship. I do not know which other events were cancelled that day, if any. There was the rumor of a Jihad tournament somewhere on the premises, and me without my Jihad deck, but no one I talked to had seen it or any of the players. Maybe they didn't want to violate the masquerade. Besides Kato Kalin, Adam West was on hand. Wow, these are old school. Like, Kato Kalin was the dude who was involved with the O.J. Simpson when all that was going down. Adam West, I mean, everyone knows who Adam West is. The illustrious just talking about the Batmobile. Okay, let's just skip by. I don't really care about Spider-Man and Wolverine. Let's get back to the actual... Alright, what do we have here? TSR to Table Man by... Alright, man, this is called the Ice Age Sealed Deck Tournament Report. Spellfire, Dragonlance, having played Spellfire, I admit it appears a lot at time TSR. Okay, where? We getting back to Magic anytime soon? Blah, 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 blah. Here we go. Naturally, the most innovative and colorful display was Wizards of the Coast. The undisputed Lord's God of collectible card games, promoted cards, and role-playing products. MTG, Primal Order, and SL... What? Okay. I heard very little about Vampire the Eternal Struggle. Demos of Robo Rally went on continuously. This is brutal. Wizards of the Coast, biggest conquest of the weekend, however, unmistakably, the world premiere of Ice Age, the latest standalone expansion set for MTG. This is like the clickbait version of an Arco. They start talking about Magic and then sandwich in a whole bunch of extra stuff. Alright, this is called the Sealed Tournament. Anyways. Alright. Let's see here. What a beautiful set it is. Enough to satisfy even the staunchest critics of Fallen Empires. It introduces snow-covered lands and 2 or 3 new rules such as cumulative upkeep, and drawing cards on the next upkeep. But overall, play hasn't changed. Magic the Gathering, however, may never be the same. When you get those new cards in your 4th edition decks with a few Chronicles in July, those have-it-all, know-it-alls with the Moxes and Lotus better watch out. Serves them right. Sour grapes. A rule follows with any event such as this. If you have fun, you can't lose, as a good time was had by all. Those who survived the cafeteria cuisine at all after what? Okay, I'm losing it, guys. I saw a lot of winners walk away from the Duelist Convocation Canadian Tournament. Kudos to Wizards of the Coast and the boys. All right, I was lucky enough to get in the Ice Age World Premiere Sealed Deck Tournament in Toronto. So this is where it starts. This is where over here. I started over here and it ends over here. I wanted to read it for the first time together so we could enjoy my natural reactions to it. But good God, I should have read it ahead of time and cut this nonsense out. I was lucky enough to get in on the Ice Age World Premiere Sealed Deck Tournament in Toronto. We were each given 1 starter deck, 1 booster pack, and 1 of each basic land. What? Out of this 80 card total, we were instructed to build a deck with no less than 40 cards. The leftover cards were considered the sideboard. After careful consideration, I talked myself out of running all 5 colors, instead ran all but blue. Despite that blue had my largest creature, the illusionary forces, a 4/4 fire with cumulative upkeep of 1 blue. I remember that guy. My deck started out at 42 cards and ended up after winning some anti-matches at 48 cards. Yeah, if you guys didn't play that way, I remember back in the day, in events, you'd end up playing for anti depending on what the event was and sealed things like that. And your deck would actually evolve as you went along. You'd win. And if you were playing against somebody who's playing the same color as you, your deck would actually improve. It was pretty awesome. I enjoyed that. So old school. The tournament was really fun despite starting over 2 hours late. My first match was won in 2 games, thanks mostly to 2 Norts and the Icy Manipulator. The next match I won in 2 games using my Sky Knights and Sky Captains, and in the 4th match I won 2 out of 3 mostly because my opponent did not get many creatures out, and when he did, they were just not up to the test. In that match, I split the first 2 games, and the last game came down to who had the most life at the time. With a little dipping into my sideboard, I managed to scrounge enough direct damage to have 4 life lead when time was called. By winning 4 rounds, I actually placed in the final 32 and gained the distinction of being a finalist. Unfortunately, I was eliminated in the first round of the finals. My opponent smashed me with a scaled worm, despite the fact that I managed to gain control of it and defeat him in the first game. All in all, I enjoyed myself thoroughly. The people at Wizards are really friendly. All of my opponents were courteous and challenging players. The city of Toronto had a fantastic nightlife. I gotta say, this is an underwhelming article, and I'm just gonna pretend now, like, instead that this was a booster opening video. So I'm just gonna, that's this. There you go, tournament report, and let's just disperse with what just happened there, because that was just a trumpet blast of nonsense. We don't need that. Let's revitalize the show with titanic growth of epic content. I'm going to get rabid and bite you if you complain about this. I'll pull up my Manolith. You'll see what kind of colors that makes, because I have abnormal endurance, my friends. I will leave you as a ghost form. They will have the angels of the dawn singing for you. Oh, but the Aegis of the heavens, see that fat little dongus right there in the middle? That's for you, baby. All right, surge and onwards, my friends. We cannot bear this. You will not be excluded from this. What's next? Oh, sweet moogly boogly googly. Now that's how you do it. That is a professionally made episode. Let's check in. Hey, we got a foil rogue's glove too. Let's check in with the 6-color magic. Me and Johnny, we're getting all the good stuff.
Together, we are the 6th color of magic.
We're back, which means it's time to roll that golden scroll. The people who got my back. Thanks for supporting me on Patreon. And now, some offerings of what to watch next. See you next time. Hail to the king, baby!